Hi, I'm Julia. Welcome to Julia Lives. Today, I'm going to show you the stores that are still open in the Water Tower Place. If you decide to drive here, there is parking available underground. It's at least $40 for 3 hours, so 3 to 10 hours will cost you $40. $53 for over 10 hours, depending on how long you want to stay here. I tried to film at various times of the day. This was in the morning on a Wednesday morning. You'll see there's just not much traffic when the mall opens, but I'll also tell you there's not much activity at 4 and 5 o'clock in the day. I filmed later on in the day to see if things picked up, and I just didn't see that much activity. The main thing that I noticed that was hugely different is with the closure of Macy's 2 years ago. Things have just drastically changed. Here we are in the American Girl doll store. This was one of the places I wanted to avoid introducing my daughter to, but unfortunately, two of my neighbor kids had these dolls, so then I ended up getting hooked in. But either way, it's still a landmark here in Chicago. I remember when you could not buy these online, you had to go to Chicago to get your doll, and it was packed. That may be a piece of it too, that they're just more accessible than they used to be. But I couldn't resist taking some footage in here because it's just such an iconic part of this mall and definitely nostalgic for me personally too. Feel free to scroll forward in the video if you don't want to see any more of the American Girl doll store, but I know some people still love it, so I wanted to make sure that I did it justice. About 10 years ago, I took my daughter here and we did the overnight package at the Ritz-Carlton. Boy, was that something. They had a turn-down service for the doll, complete with a doll bed, and then we had breakfast in bed, and we ate at the cafe in the American Girl doll store, and it was something very special. So if you're contemplating that type of a trip here, I would highly recommend it, but we've outgrown that stage at my house, so we'll be on to other parts of the mall here shortly. When you get out of the American Girl doll store, you'll come into this area. There's a coffee shop, and there's also too the Lego store. So that's right next door to the American Girl doll store. Here's where you'll see some activity starting to build up. The Lego store is a big draw as well. That attracts people from all over the world. If you're interested in Legos, you'll find them here. If you do decide to stay at the Ritz-Carlton, this is where the elevator will drop you off because it's adjacent to the Water Tower Place. Now, 10 years ago when I stayed there, that was a huge deal. I just stayed at the Westin, which is about a block away. There's a video about that if you're interested in staying nearby but not connected to the mall. I always appreciate it when you hit that like button and subscribe to Julia Lives. The Water Tower Place opened in 1976, and even though Macy's is closed, it still features about 70 different stores. The mall is 7 stories, so it's 7 floors up or 7 levels up. And when Macy's was open, that was also several levels, so it really was a great anchor store. I have not heard anything about a new anchor store being added to the Water Tower Place. I'm not even sure what type of a store would be the best store that could be as comprehensive as Macy's. There's a Bloomingdale's in another mall across the street, so I wouldn't see a need for that. But drop a comment if you have thoughts about what a good store or brand name would be to add to the Water Tower Place in place of Macy's. There have been a number of small business owners who have taken up shop here at the Water Tower Place, which that seems to be a bit of a change too from 3 years ago when I was last here. And they've added a theater. I have not been to any shows here, but that's something to consider if you're thinking of visiting. There's plenty of shopping in the surrounding area. It just surprised me, because I haven't been here in a few years, that there weren't that many people. This footage was taken at around 5 p.m. on a Tuesday. And a Tuesday in the middle of the week in downtown Chicago, you would think that there would be at least someone here. As we go up into the 6th and 7th floor, you will find that there are more stores closed, and I'll also give you a peek at the food court. You can see what that looks like during the middle of the week at, right around what's getting to be dinner time. If you don't want to fight crowds, you might find that Water Tower Place is an ideal spot for you during the middle of the week, because you certainly won't have to wait in long lines here. In just a minute, I'll show you what the restaurant area looks like. Again, it's later in the day, so you would think that there might be some people getting a bite to eat. This is a little area where you could take photographs. It was a store at one point, but at least they turned it into something decorative. So if you wanted to take some Instagram photos, there's a little setup available open to the public for doing that too.